Hi folks, we're here in Lucy. Lucy is our camper van for those that don't know. We're in Anglesey on our Anglesey adventures and this is day 3 of the Anglesey adventures. We parked a little bit away, but not too far away, from one of the most amazing stone sites or ancient sites that I've ever visited, or perhaps I can speak on behalf of Anne as well. And I would rank this site as one of the most important in the islands that we call the British Isles, and even into Ireland, even though I've not experienced the stones yet in Ireland. But hopefully one day we will do. This place is amazing. We're going to go a little bit later on and we're going to show you around what we call Bryn Celli Ddu, but that is apparently incorrect because we're from Yorkshire, you know. And
we
we're
speak
not,
as we find.
Yeah, we're not kind of Celtic speakers. So if you're into your linguistics, you'll know that Yorkshire people are more Norse in their language. So we're having a conversation actually about the division really between the languages, you know, that the Anglo-Saxon languages didn't tend to, and the Celt languages didn't tend to mix. Anyway, that's a different story. However, Anne's just pulling our layout of the way. Just to let you know, we're in the camper, like I say. Lucy's disgraced herself again today, and please folks, don't ever be under any illusion that this is living the dream, okay? It might look like we're living the dream, yeah, but every single holiday, bar probably a couple or 3, Lucy's always disgraced herself in one way or another. And today, when we're taking the chocks out from the wheels to stop her from running away, this is while we're asleep, by the way, you know, so we don't start going downhill at some breakneck speed at 3 in the morning, okay, when we're not expecting it, backwards into a hedge. I noticed some little drops of oil on one of the chocks. How
do you think I get this hairstyle, by the way? You were dragging me through a hedge.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say anything. So anyway, on further inspection, there was definitely an oil leakage from somewhere. Thankfully, there's a little garage in the village just up the road from where we are. And we took it there. Lovely, lovely man, Keith. Crown Garage in, is it Llanfeckle, I think?
Fetchel?
No, Fech, I don't know. This is Germanic, so it's not Celtic, I don't know, whatever. What you doing?
I'm just trying to draw your attention to the time.
Okay,
we're going to stop the video and then
just say
again.
So. Don't poke thing. I don't know what pokey finger means. What does pokey finger mean?
It means look at the time. There, look.
Yeah. Okay.
There.
Right. I'm disrupted now.
Well, I
tell you what, they don't do this on Blue Peter, do they? You never got Val Doodar butting in on John Noakes, did you?
This is one I made earlier.
Yeah, whatever. I don't think so somehow. Not when he were up Nelson's column, and that's a different story.
That's a different story. Just let's pause it there, okay?
Why?
Part 2.
Hello folks, right, so we've got rid of the pokey finger now, okay, so no pokey fingers. We're going to just be keeping an eye on the time. I've been strictly instructed, okay, by Biddy Baxter over here, right, from Blue Peter, right, that's 3 minutes, okay? All right, so we're going to do 3 minutes. So, where was I? Lucy disgraced herself. We think there's a problem with the brake cylinder fluid thing or something. So the lovely Keith has booked us in for Friday. We've had to order a part, which will hopefully come tomorrow by Royal Mail, and I have no faith in Royal Mail.
You can't say that.
I can absolutely say that. I used to work for DHL and I had no faith in DHL either. Okay, so we'll keep our fingers crossed that the gods of campervan heaven, okay, because that's where Lucy might be going, right? We'll keep our fingers crossed that the gods of campervan heaven will smile upon us. Yeah, whatever. So this place, we have it on good authority by a good friend of ours, and I hope she doesn't mind us mentioning her, Jane Roberts Frost. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about Jane as we go around this site. She says it's Bryn Celli Ddu.
Not Bryn Celli Ddu.
Not Bryn Celli Ddu. Although we think that Bryn Celli Ddu sounds better. But anyway, whatever. So I just want to say to you folks that this is an amazing site. They call it burial chamber, but yeah, we'll just bypass that one. Okay. Whatever the archaeologists say, the archaeologists, is that a new word? Okay, the archaeologists, yeah, say here, I have a spirit guide called Uther. He's an Atlantean druid. I tend to go along more with what he says, but we're also picking up energy as well about this site. So this is where it weirds out now for anybody who thinks we're normal people. Okay, we're not normal people. It weirds out from here on in because we're going to start talking about energy. We're going to start talking about druids. We're going to start talking about Atlantis. So if you're weirded out right now, okay, then
on your bike. Off you go.
Yeah, okay. If you're not and you like to know more and you're interested in this kind of stuff, then
stick with us.
Stick with us. Stick with us. So, yeah, so Lucy's disgraced herself, so come on Lucy, stop doing it. And hopefully we'll get her fixed, because we've got lots more sites. We've seen a load of places in Gwynedd, I think they pronounce it. Gwynedd, which we'd like to go to, but not if Lucy's on the back of a tow truck home. So it could all go completely pear-shaped, right? And our holiday could be ruined.
Nah.
Or it could go fine, and we'll do lots more posts and videos on the ancient sites of Anglesey. Right, other than that, I think we're okay. So we've done 309, is that all right? Yeah?
Well, we'll see if it uploads. It's because we've got no Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah. Just got to tell you about this. We bought a selfie stick, look. Look, it's a selfie stick. It's got Bluetooth. Yay. So we might be able to poke that in people's eyes as we're walking around and looking like a couple of numpties with a selfie stick, you know. So I think that's it. So we'll see you soon.
See you in a bit.
Bye. Hi folks, once again, here we are outside of Lucy now. Naughty Lucy. Naughty Lucy, okay. And we're just going to take you across the road now. Where we are, we're parked in a little lay-by, which is, if we can just find a way to turn the screen round.
I'm not sure whether we can with filming.
I love this.
Just have a look.
I love this.
No.
So we'll just whiz round, actually. And I don't know if you can see the little sign there in the background. And if we whiz around again this way, this is all getting a bit dizzy-fying, isn't it? There's a little, if you can see there, that's the entrance to the pathway, which will take us eventually to the site itself. Okay, so we'll see you in a few mo's. We might have a little walk down the pathway as well, just to kind of show you. And then we'll see you soon. Here we are now walking down the footpath to the site itself. It's absolutely beautiful. As you can see, it's a glorious day. We've got good weather forecast until Saturday apparently. And today is Wednesday 7th of June. And here we are once again in the beautiful Isle of Anglesey. And all down here, last year we've got sloe berries. Sloe berries coming out on the bushes, kind of August, September time. We've got some sloe gin in the making from last year, which will hopefully be ready later on this year. So we're looking forward to sampling that. So it's not only a great site to come for the ancient stuff, but if you're into your foraging and all that stuff, this is a beautiful pathway. Lots of different things, lots of things to see. Okay, so next time you'll see us, we'll be just turning the corner into the site itself. See you soon. Hi folks, so eventually after we've been down the pathway, so that's the pathway, you can see Lucy right in the distance there. Still being naughty, in the naughty corner, Lucy. Naughty Lucy. Okay, you come to this little bridge. There's actually a little bit of a pathway that goes further forward. Don't go down there, don't go straight on, turn left here, okay, over the rickety bridge where the trolls live, of course. And me being Billy Goat Gruff with my big long beard, yeah, he's now going to take you over the bridge. And any trouble from trolls, don't worry about it, I'll have them. So just look at this stunning landscape, absolutely beautiful, amazing. Hawthorn bushes, lots of things. Anne's going to tell you a little bit about yarrow later on, but just perfect day, as Lou Reed once said. Temperature's gorgeous, it's not too hot, it's not too cold. We're in t-shirt and shorts, and a little bit of a cool breeze, but that's absolutely fine. So we'll see you soon, as I say, when we turn the corner. Next time we will be there. Hi folks, so here we are now, this entrance gate to Bryn Celli Ddu. This is the site itself, okay, absolutely incredible. We're going to go and look at the official explanation for this place and what it was. So it says, if you can't read it, I hope you can, but just to make life a bit easier, talking about Neolithic people who built this tomb, okay? I'm going to put tomb in inverted commas, yeah, because we all talk about these places as being tombs, and when we look at things a little bit more spiritually, we tend to get a much different picture of why these things were built. So it's talking about famous sites like Stonehenge or Newgrange in Ireland, Maze Howe on Orkney, and certainly aligned with the movement of the heavens, it says, and I don't discount that whatsoever. We're going to do a little bit of a survey on it in terms of compass points, but I'm going to also talk about the structure of it, so we'll talk about that very shortly. You might want to close your ears if you get a little bit offended by anatomical things, okay? And I'm just going to call them lady parts, alright? You might think I'm mad, but I'll tell you what, once you see the next bit, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Well, you might not. Okay. So here we are walking around the perimeter of the site itself. You'll see there is a ditch, okay, with stones all around it. When we take a bit more of a kind of distance view from the mound itself, we can see a single standing stone there, all on its own. But then we become aware of an entrance to this place. Now this entrance is actually inaccessible. You'll notice that there are two large stones taking you into the chamber. Now one thing that fascinates me about this place is that if you've had children born in the Teletubbies generation, you will see that this very much resembles the Teletubbies house, okay? Just in the background there you may see the hills of Snowdonia, so that's how we are in relation to that beautiful place. I'm going to take you up to this entrance now, and we're going to see this at much closer quarters. So here we are. You can now see that the entrance to this place is blocked, although we can just see a little few chinks of light inside there. And we're going to take you inside this so-called burial tomb. This stone here is amazing. It has these patterns kind of carved into it, but you know, this is actually not the original stone. The original stone was taken into a museum in Cardiff, I believe. I can double check that. But this is not the original. And if you've read my blogs on our website, that's www holistic-wellbeing.co.uk, and you go to our blog section, you can check out our earlier findings last year, written down in the blogs. And I would invite you to check those out if you wish, of course, but it will give you a little bit more information on certain things. So today we're just going to move on now, and we're going to go to the main entrance of this amazing site. So that's me just being reborn, and I'll explain that to you. If you look at this entrance, okay, we have got visitors, by the way, besides ourselves, and it gets climbed on and jumped on and swung on or whatever. But this place, if you concentrate on the entrance of this place, this burial chamber, quite difficult to get bodies through there, particularly if they were in a coffin, you might agree. It's more to do with what's inside, really, and we're going to explain all that when we get inside, because we're going to take you through that, into that chamber. But if we just say that this entrance here is very anatomical, and it's more to do with the female reproductive system, and Jane Roberts Frost, who I've mentioned before, who's written a number of books, she talks about this stuff in great detail, and in our independent ways we've both come to the conclusion that these are not burial chambers. They are to do with rebirth rather than burial. Now, I walked around the perimeter for a little while, trying to pick up the energies. As I walked around the extended perimeter, there is definitely a very strong magnetic force that's going on within this place, within this site. There's also a great connection with this site to the Polaris, the North Star, and also Sirius, the Dog Star, I've been told. And because we've come up with an alignment kind of north-east, south-west through the actual entrance and exit, if you want to call it that, of this chamber, it might be a puzzle, because you would expect that to be more northerly orientated. I'm not an expert on this, but it could be to do with what they call a precession of the equinoxes, where the Earth's wobble. We've kind of gone out of alignment, if you like, of that over time, really, because of the Earth's wobble on its axis. I'm not getting into any flat Earth, round Earth, square Earth, or interdimensional, cosmic, whatever. That's not what I'm here for. Please make your own minds up on that. So when we start talking about wobbles and axes and all this stuff, yeah. But we're just going to go along with that for the time being, and now we're going to take you into the chamber. So we'll see you as we're walking in and into the chamber itself. Okay? Okay, so we're now entering into the chamber itself. Very interesting, a bit mysterious now because it's a bit dark in there. There could be ghosts of the ancient druids, who knows? We'll find out when we get inside. So now we are entering into the tomb, okay? But before we do, I want to just say to you, excuse me, that's me clearing my throat. Just replace the T, okay, on the word tomb with the word W, okay? So this now becomes womb rather than tomb. So let's go in and find out what's actually happening inside. And you have to duck. You can now see a little bit better inside. You can see how kind of low it is. And there are some handy little seated areas that were built into this. Perhaps people were kind of queuing up to go into the chamber. You can now see the sunlight shining through as we enter into the larger chamber of this site. And here we are now inside the chamber itself. And you remember at the beginning we saw the part where it was blocked off? Well, this is where it was blocked off, where there's no actual entrance. You could probably squeeze through there, but I'm going to say I was not going to even attempt that. So I'm now kind of moving around the chamber, and just now, if I move back a little bit, you might see there is actually a standing stone inside the chamber. Okay. You will also notice in the roof there are concrete girders, and this roof looks a little bit concrete as well. So I'm just going to spin around. You'll see the concrete girder. So there's definitely been activity by man in recent years regarding excavations of the tomb, they call them. Now you can actually walk around this pillar here to one point and then duck to go around the other side. I'm just going to put my hand in front of the camera there so you can see that you could actually walk around it. And there are offerings. People are leaving offerings in this amazing place. And I'm now just going to show you Anne.
Hello.
Who's also in here with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also going to put some
There's a
things
little,
on.
looks like a drum or something on top of that pillar. What we found fascinating when we first came to this site was the marks in the stones. You can see quite clearly here, marks in the stones. Okay. Here as well. And we feel that these marks are actually where the sun comes through this gap at certain points and hits the stones. Now, whatever time we have now, the sun has advanced more towards the west, so it's now setting. I'm not sure what the time is, but it's certainly mid-afternoon, I would think, right now. So at some point, that sun will appear through this gap at a certain time of the day, possibly late morning, early afternoon, perhaps even midday. Yeah, so
4 o'clock, by the way.
it's 4 o'clock now, so possibly at midday that sun might stream into this chamber. We've missed that today, unfortunately. But the other amazing thing was about the energy in this place. I'm going to close off now because we've hit that magic. We're actually at 4 minutes, so before I get told off by the lovely Anne, okay, who's there, I'm going to close off now, so we'll see you in a bit. So we're going to talk about this chamber itself and possible reasons for its function. It only struck me last year when we came that this was a representation of the womb, and Jane had told me about this many years ago. And when we look out towards the entrance or exit, which way you look at it, but I would say exit more than anything, if this is the womb, then the entrance or exit represents the birth canal. Okay, and I have a very strong feeling that people may have been brought in here in death, which may have given rise to its label as burial chamber, but instead to give them new life, to make them reborn. And there's definitely an energy in here. When you place your hands on this stone here, you can feel what I always call the pulse of the earth. And when we're touching the stones, just try and be still. Anne's now ably demonstrating, look. You will find this on most ancient sites where we can actually feel the energy that is emanating not only or always from the earth, but even from the cosmos. I can't remember, I'm sure Anne will tell me if I mentioned about Sirius and Polaris on video, but I got alignments with both of those stars. So if I did, sorry for repeating myself. Now last year we were very amazed when we stood in here And there were 4 people, our good friends Julie and Dave, who kindly brought us and helped us find this place. And we all experienced a shared phenomenon, and that phenomenon was feeling static electricity. And even as I'm standing here talking now, I can feel the pulse of the earth rising up through my feet. So this chamber is extremely powerful. And I'm sure in ancient times, when it was not tampered with by modern day human beings, that it would have been an extremely potent place to be. Very spiritual, very healing, and the acoustics are quite nice as well. I'm going to try a little experiment to see if I can find the acoustic resonance. So I'm just going to shut off now and experiment a little bit, and I'll be back soon with my findings. So I've just been doing a little bit of vocal tone in there, trying to find different tones, and the one that tends to resonate most is
Is that you recording me?
I am. Is 195 hertz. So we're just going to play that, and I'm not sure whether you can hear that. Just let me turn the volume up. This is a little tone generator, by the way, you can get on your phone. So with that tone, I'm just going to add my voice to that now in various vocal styles. So that's a hum. I feel that this has certainly a resonance with 195 hertz. I would love to be able to get a group of people in here, and we could all do various tones, harmonic tones, which I'm sure would be amazing. Anyway, Anne's going to tell you a little bit about what she feels about the centre stone. So I'm just going to move over here, and I'm going to...
Have you got me?
I have.
Okay, right. So just feeling the energy of the stones, you've got to imagine this as being like the centre spoke of, say, a cartwheel, for example. And just imagine that the energy from this stone is emitting directly up into the heavens, directly deep down into the earth, and it's also expanding that energy outwards. So if you can visualize almost as though you were looking down, and you would see the outer edge of, let's call it the cartwheel, as the energy flowing around. What we've also got is the energy that's resonating, it's bouncing out in all directions, so out into the circumference of the wheel, but it's also coming back in again as well, so it's pulsating. A little bit like, I suppose, if you are aware of a toroidal field, how the energy is circulating. And I also feel that the energy is coming both up, down and around at the same time. So it's creating this huge vortex of energy, all directions out, all directions in again. Extremely powerful. It's like an acupuncture point, if you like, of the earth. So yeah, very, very powerful, pulsating, just amazing healing energy. Okay.
So now, folks, imagine that we've been laid in here, okay, and we are being reborn. So whether that's reborn into the physical dimension or being reborn into the spirit dimension. But we're going to have to duck now. So if we don't duck, then we will definitely end up in the spirit dimension. Yeah, because we'll be like knocked out and possibly a goner. So crawling down now through the passageway. You can see the light, so is that representative of actually coming out into spirit to actually see the light? Okay, so crawling through, nearly at the entrance, coming out now. Started to see the familiar sights of the farmhouse in the distance there, through the gap and back out into the lovely sunshine. So as we turn around now, and we'll just take one last look at the mound, and we ask ourselves, is that central pillar, is that central to the circle itself, as Anne's mentioned? It'll be interesting to kind of get an idea of that perhaps later on. Anyway, we hope you've enjoyed our little visit to Bryn Celli Ddu, and enjoyed the little tour, a little bit of an explanation, and perhaps a little bit of an idea that maybe these weren't burial chambers, maybe these were incredible centres and focus of energy for healing purposes, for transcendence, ascension, and really something that was to lift the spirit rather than to kind of concentrate more on death itself, as we are led to believe. So just one little pointer that was given to me by Uther the dragon, who was my Atlantean spirit guide. You can read up on his adventures again in our blogs on our website, Legacies of the Ancient Druids, if you want to check those two blogs out. Uther said that all the sites in Anglesey form a grid. How true that is, I don't know, but it's certainly worth investigating and looking into. So we're going to leave you now, folks. We're going to take our walk back to Lucy, who's still in the naughty corner. Hopefully she'll be well again by the weekend, and we can confidently traverse Anglesey looking for some more incredible sights. So it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye
from me.
Hooray!
Ta-ra!
Bye! Hi folks, here we are again. Some interesting revelations picked up by Anne actually, and it was about the orientation of the site itself and the energy. Walking in either anti-clockwise or clockwise direction actually makes a difference, and she also picked up about so we're just walking around now in an anti-clockwise fashion, and we're going to talk about what we've both picked up, adding on to what we've already mentioned. Okay, so we're now walking in an anti-clockwise direction around the site, and when I first came here I naturally walked in this direction when I came to pick up the energies, and then Anne mentioned that she'd picked up something in connection with that, so she might want to talk about that as we're walking.
Yes, as we're walking along, I got some very strong images coming through from a ceremonial procession, and so as we're walking anti-clockwise around the site, the impressions that I was given was it is unwinding the timeline. So here I've got the image of the funeral procession, so I know we've talked about it not being a burial mound, which as far as I'm aware, indeed it isn't a burial mound, but we have a procession going. We would have the deceased taken around and taken actually into the chamber itself. And if we just stop here, where Jonathan's shown the other side, the image that I have, you can see the standing stone, which I believe Jonathan's already told you is fake, because they removed the original one, which has taken quite a lot of the power away from this site. And to the right hand side we would have the druid standing with his left hand on the stone, staff in his right hand. On the other side, so to the left as you're looking at it now, we would have the high priestess standing with her right hand on the stone. On the left hand side she would have her staff here, conducting a ceremony for the rebirth of the deceased that will be now in the chamber itself. After the ceremony, the deceased will be taken out down the canal into rebirth into the afterlife. And I've probably already said this, but the unwinding the timelines is really the sense that I'm getting is a method of releasing any, well, for want of a better word, sin or any misdemeanors that the deceased had occurred throughout the deceased life. A bit, I suppose, like absolution, if that's the right word, from a Catholic point of view, but obviously we're not talking Catholicism here. The energy itself, we've walked around clockwise, and the energy is very difficult to navigate around that. It's very heavy, very sludgy, very trudgy, if you like.
Feels like walking through life.
Yeah. So yeah, very interesting. Lots of different things being picked up. Lots more to be discovered, really. So just going to perhaps take a little bit more time just to see what we can come up with.
And also, when we went to the Nine Ladies Circle in Derbyshire, Uther mentioned that each stone has a significance, and quite a lot of them are aligned to the cosmos. Some are earth stones, so very connected to the earth. But something that's fascinated me now for a while is I start to see figures in these stones. And I've come to realise that these are actually representations of the Druids that put them there. It's almost like, in effect, a sculpture of them or a statue of them, but not in a recognisable form. But if you look closely at these stones, you will begin to see a representation of the human form.
There's actually a face.
And just in the stone ahead there, which would have been what I call the Druid stone. This stone here, the one that's been basically stolen from the site and taken to a museum, and I use that word in the right sense. It's been stolen from this amazing place of energy, taken somewhere else, because that is pivotal to the whole connective energy of the site. That was the Druid who would bring power to this particular site and would perform the rites of passage from this world into the next world. So lots of things that we're picking up on here the more we spent time here, and quite fascinating. So if there's anything you want to add
I
at all?
just want to say the face is actually appearing on the stone to the right of the standing stone. I'm going to take a photograph.
Yeah.
Move a little bit closer, and then hopefully everybody else might be able to see what I'm trying to point out here. It's definitely a very masculine face here with a beard, and yeah, just interesting. Let's see if others can pick up where I'm picking up now.
Okay.
All right.
So we just made another discovery, apart from the fact that my beard's now split into two pieces. Is we walked on the inner perimeter of where the ditch is, and the energy is the reverse. So when we walk anti-clockwise this time, we feel resistance. When we walk clockwise, it's much easier. It's a definitely different flow of energy. So that's just a little point we've picked up on there, yeah. And we'll keep just posting until we're satisfied that we've got as much as we can from this amazing site. So just a little bit of a summary after our walk to Bryn Celli Ddu. Been absolutely superb, by the way. Weather's been glorious, as you've probably managed to see if you've stuck with us through the little clips that we've been posting. But we'd just like to talk a little bit about something that we've both been discovering in our own separate ways, and that is the energy of what we'll call the mythical creatures. That we all accept these days that they are mythical and perhaps they never existed. However, there seems to be a resurgence of interest in all mythical creatures. And when I've been having my chats with Uther, he mentioned that these creatures did exist at one time. So unicorns, whatever, yeah, okay, some might think we're going into total gaga land now, but bear with it, might make sense, yeah, stick with us. Don't ditch us just yet. But you've got to think of in terms of frequency and dimension when we're talking about this stuff. Yeah, and we've got enough frequency and dimension kind of investigation going on now in the fields of science, thank goodness, and we know or are accepting now that there are multiple dimensions. So think of it in terms of that, if you want to get a little bit more scientific about it, that there were creatures that were very high frequency or high vibration, that could no longer exist in the lower frequencies of the earth as the earth became after the times of Lemuria and Atlantis. That the earth had to lower its vibration, and now we're going through a period where we're increasing that vibration once again. So what happened was that all the high vibration creatures could no longer exist in this dimension, so they had to go interdimensional. So everything that you'll probably see on Harry Potter, anything like that, you got to imagine is now existing in extra dimensions or interdimensions. So we want to talk a little bit about dragon energy, because throughout the whole of history, every culture, most major cultures that have spread all over the earth have had some form of dragon myth or dragon energy, or something to do with how dragons have influenced humanity for thousands upon thousands of years, and all of a sudden these mythical creatures just disappeared. So Anne's picked up on stuff, I've picked up on stuff, but Anne's definitely picked up on something about dragon energy at this site, so I'm going to hand you over to Anne now to talk about it.
Yeah. So I have the impression of 4 earth dragon energies underneath Bryn Celli Ddu. I can describe them literally now as sleeper dragons. They have been, we're trying to find the right terminology really to explain. They've been turned to stone, they've been petrified right now from the removal of the Druid stone. They are overlooked by, there is a huge sleeping dragon underneath the Snowdonia mountain range, which is overlooking here. But until that Druid stone is either returned, or we discover another way to bring the energies back into this ancient site, they are remaining as these sleeper dragons. And like I say, until such times we can bring their energy back again.
Dormant's a very good word.
Dormant is a good word.
Dormant.
Yes,
Dormant just came in.
Yes,
dormant
brilliant.
energies, yeah. Because we talked about the Druid stone there as well, and you know, believe it or believe it not, I'm not asking you to do so, but Druids elected themselves to become petrified, okay, along with the dragons and some of the other creatures, to be reborn in this time, in these ascension times. And that is definitely the case when I mentioned about how some of these stones, particularly if you look at the Avebury stones, and you can see actual physical beings in those stones. You can see almost the druid-like representation within them. And they also chose to be represented in nature as well, you know, so through trees and birth and rebirth of nature itself. They've kept their energy throughout eons, and a lot of their energy was imbued into the stones themselves. They became the stones. They elected to become petrified for the times right now when we're beginning to relearn and remember our ancestral roots and the energies that we had on Earth at one time before we seem to magically lose all that knowledge and power and realization of what we are as human beings. So anyway, just to say thank you for tuning in, folks. We hope you found it interesting, this little site visit, and we're going to hopefully get out and do more depending on how Lucy's going to behave. We might be kind of zooming in on the back of a tow truck, who knows. We hope not, fingers crossed. Yeah, and we don't become petrified. So some people might argue with that one already. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch up with you soon. And we'll try and tune in at our next Anglesey adventure. Okay, so bye for now.
See you later.
Cheers, folks. Bye. And we have to do the pointy finger thing. Yep, so I'm going to do a pointy finger thing, and I think it's there.